Real quick, you guys have seen this many times. 6013 Silver Sealer.
With your airbrush highlight on top if you wanted to. But then that would mean you go around 5 times, which would be 5. Water-based low sheen protective clear coat. This is the part A, part B, okay?
Okay guys, real quick, you guys have seen this many times. 6013 Silver Sealer. That's what's on the back, or that's what's on the 1947 Zephyr, okay? And then the rivets are going with jet black, and then we're going with Wicked Gray 0014 as just a really light shadow over this. So I'll grab the camera, we'll just kind of walk around the car and we'll talk about it. But so here's a brief backstory on this car. So this customer brought this car to, I used to work for Nefarious Customs a few years back. This was a 4-door. So mind you, 1947, not a lot of stuff was made in 47, you know, but anyways, Lincoln Zephyr, customer brought it in, it was a 4-door, okay? He wanted to make it a 2-door. And then he had brought in, I think it was a 53 fleet line, if I remember right. It's been a few years. I think it's been 4 now. Anyways, so he took the fleet line, we cut the roof off the fleet line to put it on this one. And the overall chop on the front window, which is funny, it almost doesn't look like it's been chopped that much. I think we ended up taking about total of 7, gosh, I can't remember. I think it's 7 or 9 inches out of the front window, the whole front, just to get it to look like this. It's not going to look like a 37 ever. I mean, there's some 47s that are out there that are really cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do the finish work with the planation hammers that we wanted to do on the back of the car to blend in the back a little bit better. I'll show you real quick, we'll walk around it. But anyways, long story short, car never got completely finished, ended up going back to California, and then they put body work over the top of the car, and then I got the car back to just finish the doors. Neither one of the doors were done, so I just shaped the doors, did some inside stuff. We took some parts off of a 46 Ford. The doors have been extended 14 inches. So they've still got a little bit more work to do on the doors. Interior's been done. I'll kind of walk through it real quick. And then yeah, let's get to it and I'll get to finishing this paint job, right? So this is what I wanted to show you. Ooh, be careful, careful. Isn't that such a cool, like, Art Deco hood ornament? So cool. Anyways, this is what I was talking about. So after we're done with all of the black rivets on that side of the car and wherever, because I'm getting tired of swapping colors. I was doing it on Instagram just so you guys could see a quick process of it. Which, thank you guys for sharing that. I think it's already, between the 3 videos, we're almost getting close to like 1.5 million views. So cool, I don't get paid for any of that. But if it helps these guys with their products, there you go. And that's what it's all about, helping each other, right? So anyways, you're gonna have this, and we'll do it. And we're just gonna do a light shadow on the top, which is that same gray. And then we'll do all that. And then we'll come back around with some white that I put a drop of black in. So it's not a bright white, it's just a regular opaque white, thinned out a little bit. And then we come down and we do our shadow. Oh, here, there's the actual colors. You can see them right there. And let me get a little closer with the camera for you. Okay, so you can still even see some of the leftover paint from on the stencil here. And this is like a freehand stencil. These stencils come in really handy for different, whatever you're doing, shapes, you know. You know, and like I said, some of these rivets aren't in line. It's okay. It's a big bomber car for fun. So we'll go over that again. Top half gets a little bit of the gray, bottom half gets a little bit of the white, and it's just enough to almost look like an indentation, right? And you don't have to do it like this. There's so many ways to do rivets. I bet there's probably 1,000 videos on YouTube on how to do rivets. And then what I have in there is I actually have a reflective silver over the top of the black. So then when you kind of walk around the car, you can see a little bit of a shine in there. From there, you could actually take white again and shadow, or just put a tiny dot with your airbrush highlight on top if you wanted to. So, and hey, and by the way, you know, I'm always trying to show you guys a cheaper, easier way to do a lot of this. There's other ways of doing all of this. And I always say that in all my videos. There's multiple ways of doing it. There's a lot of different channels out there that have some really good info. Like I said, I've shouted out Airbrush Asylum before. He's got great videos on doing rivets, bullet holes, things like that. So if you're new to airbrushing, check out Airbrush Asylum as well. He's got some great stuff. Okay, so what I was just doing was just highlighting, and remember, this is just the gray. I'm just highlighting a couple areas of where water possibly could run down. It's still not done yet. And then we'll get the rivets going on here. And if you ask, why did you do it this way and not the other way? Well, this car is over budget because, like I said, this car was not just a paint job. This car was all kinds of other stuff, suspension, metalwork, blah, 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 blah. So we are going a quicker route to get the basic idea of what a bomber would look like. And so what I'm doing is I did a reverse. So those dice are flipped reverse the other way. So the bigger dice is that die is down at the bottom. So the 6 is at the bottom. And then we'll be doing the Air Force logo, more rivets, and then
of a jagged fight, the void whispers calling tonight. Shadows creep, they swallow the ground. I stand alone, no savior around. Down the abyss, screaming the black. No turning forward, no falling back. Darkness wants me and pulls me down, but I'll tear it apart. I'll wear the crown. I'll wear the crown. I'll wear the crown.
Okay, so I'm using, I reuse stuff. Where's my tape? Where'd my tape go? I reuse plastics sometimes if it's not contaminated, you know, especially on acrylic stuff. Solvent stuff you wouldn't want to do, probably reuse some of this stuff. But then again, this is a rat rod too, so don't forget, this is not like show car. So all I'm gonna do real quick is I'm just gonna cut around this plastic. Now this is the cheap plastic. This isn't, I've got the big rolls of good stuff in there, but I saved that from when we're painting the whole entire car at the end, because, you know, a lot of people don't understand, I think, how expensive these materials are. And yeah guys, it's expensive. So I'm just gonna do some quick cuts around this. But what I wanted to show or tell you real quick before I go back to the time lapse is that this is just gonna be white and white for the dice. Then we're gonna do a black overlay on that. And then on this one, the reason why we're doing the white, we're gonna lay the white down real quick, okay? And I'm not even gonna fully bomb the whole thing white. We only know the star is white and just these 2 stripes, and that's it, because we're not doing a red, white, and blue Air Force logo on this one. We're just doing the blue and white. Sorry I'm out of breath, because I'm old. I'm just old, okay? Like this car, old. Anyways, back to this. I'll mask all this off. This will be exposed, that will be exposed. The reason why I've got a bigger area mask off is because white White carries. Like I said, I've said before in other videos, it will carry and get way over there when you don't think it's gonna, and then you're gonna get upset. So masking off a bigger area, white, then the blue. Blue comes down afterwards, and then when we're done, we'll peel the green masking off around it, and then it'll expose it to a blue and white logo. We'll take the whole thing off, and then we'll shadow it. So let's stop talking about it and just get to it. Because I want to turn the air on, it's hot. It's hot.
From the edge of a jagged fight, the void whispers calling tonight. Shadows creep, they swallow the ground. I stand alone, no savior around. Down the abyss, scream in the black. No turning forward, no crawling back. Darkness.
You know, a lot of times you can, you could hand paint this too. Like, I'm sure some of the hand painters are like, oh, I could just lay that out with pencil and do it all by hand. You could. But then again, it's like, to each their own, because, I mean, I love traditional sign painting, but sometimes it takes just as long to lay out the lettering and pencil it all in and, do that, because, see, since we're spraying this on, we're having to mask all the area off, whereas if you were hand painting this, you wouldn't have to mask this much. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, if you have a big enough plotter, you could make this one whole sheet and then pull your middle section out. But a lot of times I don't like putting that much vinyl on a section of a car, even if it's a low tack stencil vinyl. I've still seen it lift, but usually it won't, as long as the surface is prepped right. Because you guys got to think about it. Like, when the paint is lifting, or paint is coming off with, say, masking tape, and you don't forget, guys, there's different levels of your masking tape. There's low tack stuff, there's high tack stuff. I try to avoid a lot of the like house painting tapes and stuff like that. Try to stick with just automotive tapes a lot of times. 3M's a great product, always. It's expensive though, a lot of us, I keep going back to that. Man, stuff since the old C19 event, things have just never went back to normal. Prices are so out of whack, it's crazy, Think about it, if you change the price of something, even $1, and people just keep paying it, hey, let's raise it another $1. Let's raise it another $1. Let's raise it another $1. And we'll just keep doing it until people get so upset and finally say something, like people are now in 2025. It took 5 years for people to go, hey, I'm not paying $45 for a roll of toilet paper. This is stupid. So good for everybody standing up. We has to, man. We has to stand up. Whew. Man, I am fried. It is so miserable in here. Gosh. Stop complaining. Just paint. What else? Nothing. I guess that's it. There's a hole right there. Hole. So like this one, by the time I'm done doing this, by this time, this piece of plastic is, we should just throw it away after that. We probably won't want to reuse it again. But like a lot of times when I'm doing those rivet pieces, I'm trying to reuse that green tape as much as possible, because these can be up to $10 a roll now. And it's easy to spend over $2,000 on materials, sometimes $3,000 depending on the clear coats on a vehicle paint job. So it's a lot of times when people are like, hey, can you paint a car for like $5 grand? You're like, maybe if it's one color. But I mean, and it depends too on where you're at in the country. Other parts of the United States, prices are normal, not like here where everything's abnormal. Okay guys, hey, on a side note, this is Createx's 4008 Restore. This is one of their cleaners. They make a couple different cleaners, but this is gonna help get that dried up acrylic or water-based paint out of the gun. If you've got some stubborn paint that's stuck inside of the needle flow area, anywhere in the nozzle, the tip, all of that, you can soak it in this stuff, all metal parts, it's not gonna hurt anything. And then you can rinse it out with water when you're done. But trust me, within a few minutes, it can start to pull that out, even out of the old cups. Like if you're like me and you're still old school and you like because you like the siphon feeds, I still use the Restore to clean out a lot of the cups because down at the bottom, sometimes it gets, it's hard to get it out of there all the time. So if you're in a hurry like me, you're changing colors, and you don't want to grab multiple airbrushes, a lot of times you're using the same airbrush and you're flowing through it. When you're done, a lot of times that helps get some of that stubborn stuff out of there. Okay, all right, thanks.
Living in a world of chaos, fighting to get on top, killing in the streets. When will the madness stop?
All right, so what I was doing is, if you guys were noticing that, I wasn't painting that like super uniform because the logo is kind of a little worn, I wanted it a little worn out. And you could come back with some sandpaper and sand that down a little bit. But let's go ahead and if you see me just sitting there holding the gun, I'm just blowing air on it, just air. So anyways, I think now we can go ahead and get this off of here and get back to, we'll go ahead and shadow that with some of that gray, still using the same gray on the whole thing. And then I think, like I said, I got a spot I need to probably look at on the dice because it looks like it was a little low. I missed my registration mark. Anyways, all right, let's get this off. Yeah, you can make this, you can make your logos look a little older just by not painting it 100%, Ooh, look, we had a little blow through right there that we're gonna have to sand off of some blue. See what I mean? There was a pinhole in the paper and just a little bit of blue got through. So we can wipe that off with some cleaner. And now we can throw this guy away. Okay, don't need you anymore, goodbye. Don't need you as a mark. This was just registration stuff. Or we could just make that a, I don't think we're doing bullet holes. I think I said that already. I don't know, sometimes I'm filming these videos in multiple dates and I can't remember what I said because I can't remember anything because I'm old. You old guys know that, we just can't remember nothing.
Of a jagged fight, the void whispers calling tonight. Shadows creep, they swallow the ground. I stand alone, no savior around. Down the abyss, screaming in the black. No turning forward, no crawling back. Darkness wants me and pulls me down, but I'll tear it apart, I'll wear the crown.
Back to more of the kind of the boring stuff. I'm just laying some more of that fine line tape across here, and then I'm going through and doing all the black registration marks on the rivets first. So it's been like a couple hours of me just bouncing around the car, because you know I can't time lapse all of that. It's a lot. Anyways, that's what's going on. So we'll just keep going. So yeah, what we're doing right now is gonna split a piece right there. Just went down the back right here, adding some more here along there. Whew. Still hot. It's hot. It's hot. Anyways, I've got most of the ones across the top registered and ready with the first shadow. Gonna come across the back here, do more here. I still have to go down the middle of the hood. So mind you guys, if you're gonna do something like this, it takes a lot of hours, okay? It's not as fast as like the regular square bottle patina stuff, which still takes a long time. This takes a long time. This takes even longer. So anyways, be honest with you, I could probably paint a semi-truck faster than this. I have a semi-truck coming up next month. We're doing black and silver. I don't know if I mentioned that. For Dick's Diesel service. And so anyways, let me get back to it, okay? And then we'll do a walk around in a little bit.
Down the abyss, screaming the black. No turning forward, no crawling back. Darkness wants me and pulls me down, but I'll tear it apart. I'll wear the crown. The noise, the fire, the war machines hum. The clock is melting, devours the hour. I'll wear the crown. I'll wear the crown. Eyes like steel, heart made of flames. I burn their lies, I shatter the chains. Every step's a night, every breath's a roar. I'm the storm they'll fear forevermore. Eyes like steel, heart made of flames. I burn their lies, I shatter the chains. Every step's a night, every breath's a roar. I'm the storm they'll fear forevermore. I'm the storm they'll fear forevermore. Forevermore. Forevermore.
All right, so back onto the Zephyr. Sorry, these videos jump around a little bit because it's been chopped up between like a month and a half of filming because I'm doing multiple things. Okay, so anyways, I'll walk around the car, but the car's pretty much done. The rivets are done. There's two small little pinup girls in the back, which I'm not the best at doing pinup faces that are this big. So, but, yeah, you know. Anyways, it's just an old rat rod. So we're gonna get it clear coated, but we're gonna get it clear coated with our 415 matte clear. So like I was saying before, some of the questions we get, I'm using Iwata airbrushes, the Eclipse mainly, just because I do a lot of cars, so I use the siphon feed for the bigger bottle. So I do have Micron. Anyways, let's see what's in the box. Okay, so, sorry, I'm losing my voice. We have a part A and a part B. One thing I wanted to kind of zoom in and zoom. Let's go over this right now so you guys can understand what's happening here, okay? This is a water-based low sheen protective clear coat. This is the part A, part B, okay? You have a consistent sheen, meaning it's not gonna stripe. I think I've said this a lot. Some of the clears, if you come in too hot and get a heavy spot on and a light spot, you're gonna have a shine and a dull, or you're gonna have stripes. All you guys that have painted fat flats and satins, you all know this. So some of them out there are a real pain. That's why matte paint jobs usually take a little more time and they cost a little bit more money to get them right. Anyways, waterborne polyurethane technology is what they're using. It's burnish resistant, non-yellowing, and it's silica free. It says professional use, but all you guys are professionals, right? That's why we're here. We're all professional.
in our own way. So another thing, when you do the water-based stuff, you don't shake this like you would a solvent, okay? Just stir it, stir. So make sure you have your stir sticks open. Sorry, I'm not using the correct toolage to open this. But yes, you don't want to put this in a shaker and create bubbles and agitate it. Don't agitate it, okay? It smells like house paint. That's the same thing, by the way, with the Wicked Colors and the Autoborne Sealer and everything. The one good thing about if you are having to spray it somewhere where, I guess maybe it's not so much that it's less ventilated, but it's not gonna smell. It's not gonna carry into the neighborhood and stink up your neighbor's house and get in trouble because you're out there clear coating a car or something. Now the solvents, obviously the high gloss clear, yes, but this particular stuff, negative. So let's go get an actual punch tool and knock it out. But I'll grab the camera, you can look inside.
Okay, so let's take a look in there. Okay, so we want to stir this. Do not shake, says it right on the side of the can. It's our part A, part B, our water-based polyurethane clear, okay? You can go ahead and do your 2 coats on it. I think you use 30 minutes in a bake booth, I think it was, 30 minutes at 90 degrees in the bake booth. So do your 2 full coats. And then, let's see, what else can we tell you real quick? 1.2 to 1.4 fluid tip, 20 to 45 air pressure at the regulator. And then from there, if you need to, you can just thin it with distilled water. So, I think I thinned it one time on one of the projects, maybe one of the C10s I was doing or something. But make sure you mix this first before you do your part B. The part B is your activator, which I don't even know if you guys can see it. It's kind of like, it's thicker than a normal solvent activator, right? So you don't want to get the 2 mixed up, but yeah, you can shoot this right over anything that you normally would shoot a clear coat over, okay? Anyways, I'm gonna get this stirred up. And by the way, this shirt I'm wearing is from Hicks Garage. It's one of his new ones he sent the other day. So always check out our good buddy Hicks and all his cool hot rod art that he does. And he's got little cars now and all kinds of good stuff. So, okay. All right, so we just shot the back half of the car with the POR 15 matte clear water-based. So you can still see some little traces of the milky white because it's drying right now. So it actually has a bit of a sheen to it like now, like a satin. See the shine? So as it's gonna keep going, it's gonna flatten out. And it's gonna, or you know, it'll get to that matte finish. So I'm gonna finish up a couple of little things. I got one little coat to do on the bottom section, and then we're going to, excuse me, shut the shop down and just let it sit in here and cure and do its thing. I'm gonna go paint something else, another shot in the front. Okay, see you in a minute. Well, I didn't get the car out here fast enough before the sun went down. But anyways, we'll do a quick walk around real quick. Real quick. How many times can I say real quick? 415 matte clear over silver sealer. And then it's been sanded to make it look kind of dull. But as you guys can see, even with that matte, it does not hide the reflection of that silver. So I guarantee in the sunlight, that's gonna be even brighter. But there you go. Pour 15 matte clear. How many times can I say this stuff? I forget what I've filmed because I've filmed this in like 2 months on and off. But you guys remember, this is the good stuff. Don't forget to go check out Coast Airbrush for all your Createx colors needs. Description is down in the, link is in the description for Coast Airbrush for Createx. Okay guys, that was my last car. I can finally get to my my projects. So here, we'll do a quick, this thing is cool. This thing's cool, man, it's cool. What a fun like little rat rod. I'd put a diesel in it, why not? Anyways, okay, cool. Now you finally get to bring the truck in, we'll paint it, and then we'll bring little Poopy in. And I think we'll do a quick patina job on that one too, and then we have the Ranger to do. So I'll get more videos out. I've got some gas cans to paint. We've got another helmet from one of our buddies in California that sent us a helmet. He wants to take an old 70s flake helmet and make it look old. So we're gonna take a brand new helmet and make it look like trash. Okay, thanks guys. See you on the next one.